Gary here from the Bike Cave, and today we're going to be going over what is a D-bike. Every time I go riding, I get asked, what is that contraption you have on your bike? So some people have mountain bikes. Some people have electric mountain bikes, which is an e-bike. What I have is a D-bike, and what that is me, my bike, and my dog. So how did I get started in D-biking? Well, it started out with, I got a brand new lab puppy, a little yellow lab. He was a tiny guy. And as soon as he got big enough, I started letting him ride with me. And what he would do is he would run beside me. He would just follow along. Now, I didn't do this right away. I waited for him to get a little bit older, almost a year, before we started doing this. And he started running alongside of me. Well, if you have a lab, you probably know they're the most friendly dogs you can get. Super friendly. But mine is super vocal. So he likes to say hello. What I mean by hello, it's a loud barking sound. He's excited to see you and he wants to play. Charging 100 miles an hour at full speed and continuously barking. Now I know he's not going to hurt anybody. But the person on the other end of that who's maybe 100 yards away and sees this 80-pound animal running 100 miles an hour at them, they don't always understand that he's a friendly dog and he won't bite them. So I had to come up with a solution. So my solution at first was I got a traditional dog harness that you see all kinds of people have, and I hooked that up to a leash, and I thought I would hook that up to my bike. Well, it wasn't good for him because that harness is not meant for a dog pulling, and it wasn't meant to go on my bike either. So what I had to do is I had to find a solution. So the closest thing I could find was, I thought, what about dog sledding? So then I started doing searches for dog sledding harnesses, looking on Amazon and Google and everywhere else. And what I came across this company called Nonstop Dogwear, and I found they had this sledding harness they used for dog sledding, but they also had a section for bicycling. And what it came with an attachment that would go on the front of my bike, this wire that goes on the front, and it has a bungee leash and then the dog harness. And you hook all that up and you go for it. That's what we did. So how did I learn how to do this? There's no instructions. I guess I could go to dog sledding school and learn how to do dog sledding, but that was way too much effort and I didn't have any snow. What I did is, I bought all this stuff and I'm a kind of jump right in kind of person. So I just bought it. I hooked up my dog to it on the trail for the first time and away we went. So when I first started this process, I was trying to teach the dog right, left, stop, all these commands, way too confusing. So what I learned to do, and me and the dog learned, because it's a bonding experience with your dog. So you have to trust him, he has to trust you, and you're going to learn along the way. So have I run into him? Yes. Has he took a left turn when I wasn't expected? Yes. So how did we get started doing this? Well, like I said, I hooked him up, and I started out trying to do right or left, and that wasn't working. And so if you think about it, I have 3 commands I use, and the rest is up to the dog. So I have stop, which obviously means stop. I have whoa, means we're going to slow down. And then my universal command is pup, pup, just really loud, abrupt, and sharp, which gets his attention. And how this came about is anytime we're going down a trail, if we're going straight, he's fine. We got no issues. He runs like the wind. He just keeps running and running. It's when we come on an intersection or I want him to turn one way or the other. Now, got to be honest with you, sometimes I go riding quite a bit, and a lot of times I just let him choose the path, and if he goes to the right, we go to the right. If he goes to the left, we go to the left. But if it's in a situation where I want him to go right or left, what I've noticed is he looks back at me at every intersection. He'll just take a quick glance back. And if I see him going the direction I don't want him to go, all I do is go, pup, pup.
Okay, come on, pup.
And he'll automatically go the other direction. It is, it's quite impressive just to watch the dog work. And so there's a couple things that we have to do. One, when we're going, if it's slight rolling hills, on the uphill, there's no problem. I'm not gonna go faster than he is. But on the downhills, I have to be careful that I'm not going to run into him, because he runs really well. And he'll look back to see where I am all the time. It's just a quick glance. I mean, his head will just slightly turn and he'll look at me to see where I'm at. And he can sense where the tires are. But this has been built up over time. So anytime there's a decision to be made and he's making the wrong decision, I just simply go, pup, pup, and he'll do the other thing that he was going to do. It's pretty impressive and fun to watch. Can you own a D-bike? Can you operate a D-bike? Can you ride a D-bike? Well, let me tell you, it's not for everybody. But if you love your dog and you love riding your bike, then yes, you can own a D-bike and operate one. But let me go over a few of the things that I've learned along the way. One, you have to know and understand and anticipate what your dog is going to do, because he may go left, he may go right. And the setup I have, which I'll cover in another video, and the link to purchase this is also below. But the setup I have is one where people always think that the dog is going to pull your bike one way or the other. Well, the way this setup works is it's actually on the frame of the bike. It's not on the handlebars. So if he goes right or left, it's not a big deal, because he's not actually pulling my handlebars. He's just pulling the bike frame, and I weigh more than he does, and me and the bike combined weigh more than he does. So we can kind of control that with just the brakes. But anticipating that when he does it is helpful. And that's when you do one of the commands, pup, pup, or stop. We've got 3. We got a whoa there also, but that's it. Oh, we have one more. Let's go. So that is his command for whenever we're stopped and we're going to get going, we say, let's go. But this section of the video, I want to talk about, can you do it? One thing you have to realize when you're de-biking or bike joring is that dog is going to go and he's going to run and he's going to go down that trail. Now, do you think if there's a rock, a root, a stump, that really affects the dog? The dog is 4-wheel drive. He can cover those things without an issue. But what you have to realize when you're de-biking is you're going where the dog goes. So you can easily prevent him, control right or left. That's not too bad. But obstacles are another question. So your skill level, if you ride these trails normally, and there are parts where you're uncomfortable or unsure and you're not sure how you're going to go over this obstacle, I would definitely master that without the dog before you try and do it with the dog, because you can hurt yourself, and more importantly, you can hurt the dog, and you don't want to hurt the dog. So make sure any obstacles that the dog is going to be faced with that you're familiar with, and you can anticipate how the dog is going to react to that obstacle. Now, I'm lucky. My dog is amazing. He literally just loves running, and he stays on the trail. So there are sections where, a dog normally might choose the shortcut, but my dog, he stays on the trail and just keeps running. It's fabulous. But the one thing you need to do is you need to understand your dog and anticipate what he's going to do, and don't put him in a situation where he's going to be faced with an obstacle that you're not ready for. Because if you run into your dog, you can obviously hurt him. I mean, you can fall off and hurt yourself as well, but I can't hurt my dog. Thanks for watching. The link to all my stuff is below. The harness, the bike, the camera, all of it's below. Please like the video, and I'd love to hear your comments of what you think, and I can share all my experiences with you. Just send me a question and I'll answer all of them. Thanks and good night.